Happy Thanksgiving.
Hello, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving from the HomeBod crew. Ashley and Heather here, wishing you the very best holiday, however it shakes out for you. And we hope that it shakes out the way you want it to. And we're going to give you our spin because that's what we do.
That's what
I'm
we
going to
do.
tell you, I'm going to warn you, it's my most favorite holiday. It
Oh,
is
that's
my most
amazing.
favorite holiday. And I will tell you all the reasons why. But number one is because the reason for the season is gratitude. And
Amen.
gratitude is what makes my world go round. So off we go.
I love it. No, I love the idea of gratitude as well as in the realm of organizing. A lot of trends lately have talked about, you want to if before you get rid of something, you want to give it thanks and then move on. Um, and while I don't necessarily subscribe to that idea, gratitude in the organizing world has such a strong influence in overcoming guilt that we feel about getting rid of something, guilt that we feel about keeping something. The more gratitude we can feel and pay it backwards and forwards, pay that gratitude both ways, the more we're going to be able to progress, the more we're going to be able to let go without the guilt, or intentionally keep something without the guilt if we
Absolutely.
have that gratitude tied in. So, gratitude is
Yes.
huge in my world.
Gratitude is huge. Yeah, I will tell you, Thanksgiving, people are always like, that's your favorite holiday. I'm like, I don't know why that's so
Ah,
weird. Why would that be weird?
I don't
But
know.
I'll tell you why. Number one, I love, and maybe it's because it's a tradition, tradition in my family to kind of cook and everybody's in the kitchen. But I love preparing a meal for my family and I love watching them enjoy it. And I just get this huge, like, yes, it's exhausting and it's cumbersome. And but I put it on myself. I like way over and above, obviously. So normally we have a lot of people. Sometimes there have been times where we have had close to 30 people in our house.
That's so awesome.
This year, because of our favorite thing,
Mhm.
I will have my mandatory 10 and under because I'm a rule follower.
Yes.
Wink, wink. But actually, we really are going to have like 10 people. And I was getting so sad. I was like, what's the point? Why do I even bother? Now I can't make all the amazing things. And then I was like, why can't I make the amazing things?
Yeah.
I'm still going to make the amazing things. And these things will take me a long time. They will be a lot of work. But similar to when I spend a 12 to 18-hour day canning my tomatoes and my spaghetti sauce and all that, it is
Uh-huh.
a labor of love. And every time I open one of those jars to make spaghetti for my kids, or every time that I watch my, in-laws and my nieces and nephews load up their plate with 5 million things and only have one bite of everything, it makes me happy. It makes me so happy, which is funny because I don't like wasted food. But on Thanksgiving, you can
Yep.
have one bite of everything. You can have one bite of everything. I'm gonna say that one more time. You can have one bite of everything. You don't have to eat every whole piece of pie you get.
Oh, you're bursting my bubble here.
I know. But then you get to try it all
Yes.
and you don't feel terrible. But the other reason I love Thanksgiving is because of the gratitude factor, right? We have to be I practice gratitude every single day. It's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning. I go through all the things I'm grateful for, even if it's something as simple as I got my to-do list done. Or I'm really glad,
Fantastic.
I'm thankful for the fact that yesterday went so smoothly because I was scheduled from ding to dong and I managed to get to everything on time and nothing fell through the cracks, and my crock pot dinner turned out,
That's amazing.
it can be the silliest little things, or it can be gratitude that we're healthy, we have
Yeah.
a roof over our head, we have an abundance of food, and, um, even if you're not in love with your body, did you know that having excess body fat used to be something that people said was a sign of abundance,
Wealth. Yeah.
wealth? So, while I'm not suggesting that you be really grateful for being overweight or being really excited about being overweight, I want you to be excited that you had the abundance to become that way. And now you have the opportunity to make that a healthy weight.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
gratitude for everything, even your obnoxious nieces and nephews. Mine are amazing. They're not obnoxious, but yours
Well,
might.
and gratitude bleeds over. I've had an interesting perspective on Thanksgiving and understanding why Thanksgiving started in the first place and the traditions and why do we have the tradition of eating the certain foods that we do here in the United States and do um I mean really it is an American holiday because of the historical significance of it all. And it was interesting when I moved to uh Montana. I've moved a lot, but we ended up in Montana for a 6-year period of time. And we were able to hunt on our own property. And so we had a big garden and we were able to hunt. And we decided that one year we were going to do a traditional holiday, Thanksgiving holiday feast, meaning that we were going to eat what we had harvested ourselves over the year.
That
So
is so
anything
cool.
that came out of our garden and anything that we had hunted is what we ate for Thanksgiving dinner. So it wasn't a traditional turkey and stuffing and cranberry sauce and all that kind of stuff. It was squash and venison and a little bit of elk. And we even threw in some bear meat. And we had the last of the cucumbers and we had the last of, we had lots of carrots. This is a perfect time of year for carrots. So we had roasted carrots and it was a very untraditional meal as far as Thanksgiving goes.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have turkey. But it was a very traditional in the sense that we ate what we harvested, and it was the most gratifying, rewarding meal that my husband and I had that
I
we
think
had made.
that's
And
amazing.
it
I
was
would love
phenomenal.
that.
It
I
was
would
phenomenal.
love
And
that.
then a couple of years later, we went to go do Thanksgiving dinner with my sister, and they had a tradition of catering out Thanksgiving. And we ate a catered Thanksgiving on paper plates in the living room on folding tables that we bought from Costco. And it was a completely different world. But at that particular time, I was so thankful to be with family because I hadn't really been around family for almost 14 years, 13 years. And so I was so grateful to just be around family.
Yeah. And
So
doesn't that
for
free up
me,
so much time?
oh, it freed up time. It freed up, I mean, for all of us that were traveling to be with family, I mean, it was all the gratitude was focused all on the family and the time that we had together rather than, spending hours and hours and hours in the kitchen and talking and chit-chatting and doing this and that. It was a very different feeling, but it was still so centered
Yeah.
on gratitude. And this year is going to be different, all the same because of our favorite thing. Um, but here again, anytime we get together for Thanksgiving, I encourage my family as well as all of our listeners to rethink what you are grateful for this year and how are you showing it? And are you breaking tradition? And
Yeah.
are you still grateful for it? Like there's no such thing as guilt when it comes to this holiday. I mean, we do have the ability to feel guilt. I feel guilty that I'm not providing a better meal for my family, or I feel guilty that I'm eating on paper plates instead of great grandma's fine china. I'm feeling guilty about all of these things, but really, what's the value that you put into those kinds of things? If you value making, just slaving away in the kitchen to make those delicious meals, and you feel good, even if they only take one bite and throw the rest away, then you are valuing what you are grateful for and put the time and energy into that.
You know
If you
what? Just
value,
the craziest thing just popped into my head.
awesome, I love
You
it.
know, that's how that happens, right?
Yes.
We talk a lot about creating a happy space.
Yes.
And we talk a lot about boundaries, and we talk a lot about saying the word no and having difficult conversations.
Mhm.
What better opportunity than right now is it for you to rethink how you do this holiday?
Yeah.
And you can use the Rona as the scapegoat.
Hey.
If there is toxic, negative, bad juju going on, what better opportunity to say, this year, we're going to do things differently.
Yep.
If you get stressed out because you feel like you have to make the most perfect thing and your mother-in-law comes and says this, something nasty every time.
Well, that's not as good as my
Right.
recipe.
Or if there's someone in your family that they walk in the door and they just change the whole dynamic of the whole place, and you're like, and you just dread the moment that person shows up. Guess what? You don't have to invite them this year.
You can change it.
You can change it. And you can do it your way, and you can just blame it all on the circumstances. How amazing is that?
But then next year, you don't have to go back to the old ways.
No, that's the best part, is then you can just not really mention it and keep moving on as though
Just keep going.
just don't say much. Just and you just, this is how we're going to do Thanksgiving. We really enjoyed our smaller family whatever. Insert whatever phrase. Also, if you are slaving and killing yourself every year to make this amazing meal and you don't love doing it, but you do it because you feel like you have to, you could always say, hey, I wanted to support local businesses,
Yep.
local caterers.
Yep.
And so I decided to do this.
Yep.
And then everyone will think it's amazing. And then next year you can say, we loved it so much. We're
going to keep going.
And then no one argues because they love the term the new normal. Here's our new normal. How amazing is that? I'm so excited for people to be able to just.
I love being able to give myself a reason, give myself an excuse to make positive changes. Even if the reason is negative, we can still use it to make positive changes.
Oh my gosh.
One of the best things that we can do, because I love having this conversation because of the gratitude aspect of it. When we are going into our kitchen and we are preparing, there are so many dishes that we save in our kitchen specifically for this time of year, specifically for
Guilty.
Thanksgiving and Christmas, not necessarily New Year's. And the leftover, the last like 2% is saved for the Super Bowl. Okay. But this time of year is when we start pulling out all of this stuff that we have been saving in our basement for the last 18 years in boxes because of the holidays. This is the time to set yourself up for success for next year. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. What honestly have you pulled out that you save, that you use every year? Remember that. And before you put it away, when you have it all pulled out, that is when, so the next day, this weekend, before you put all of your Thanksgiving dishes away, now is when you go through and you pull out anything that's Thanksgiving themed that you didn't use.
Oh, that's
and
great.
You say, man, we just went through a great Thanksgiving holiday. I am so thankful for what we had, for what we did, for what we were able to do this year, even with our favorite thing, even with COVID. I am so thankful for everything that I had. I'm done with what I didn't use. And all the more reason to be grateful that now I get to declutter.
Yes.
And here we go. I am grateful now in this moment for what I was able to do for Thanksgiving and for what I had, for the abundance that I had. Now I'm going to look at what I don't need and I'm going to pay the gratitude backwards. So if I decide that, you know what, no Thanksgiving should ever be done on fine china ever again, I am going to pick up great grandma's fine china and say, wow, Okay, this was amazing. She was a wonderful woman. I am going to save, a little saucer and a teacup and a little plate from great grandma's china set so that I can remember great grandma. And then so that's paying gratitude backwards. Is
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to find some way of reconnecting with a relationship that I had in the past because of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm going to get rid of the thing, and I'm going to give somebody else the chance to be grateful for what I got rid of.
Yes, I love that.
This is the perfect time of year to
Yes.
practice that gratitude. So I can be grateful for what I have and my abundance. I can pay the gratitude backwards and I
Yep.
can pay the gratitude forwards. And
Yep.
if I do that, there is no guilt,
Right.
because that gratitude is such a higher form of a higher level thinking and a
Yes.
higher level living, that
Yes.
there is no guilt, there
Right.
is no regret. We made a great decision based on what we've been using and observing, real life scenario of like, yes, this is what I actually used.
Right.
So before you put all of your Thanksgiving dishes away, and as you're pulling out the Christmas stuff, go through it and declutter. Pay the gratitude backward, pay the gratitude forward, sit in the gratitude of the abundance that you've got, and let everything else go.
I love it. I love it.
That's the best thing you can do for yourself.
Yes. Yes. Let's talk about the food for a minute here.
Yeah.
I can't go without talking about the food. Thanksgiving is an opportunity. I wrote a blog about this last year, and it is an opportunity to eat, like, I think it was like 12 or 13 different superfoods. Most of
Oh,
our traditional dishes are jam packed with nutrients because, like you talked about with yours that you grew, this is the end of the harvest season. That's why
yes.
Thanksgiving even exists, right? And at the end of the harvest season, all of the plants are full of all the nutrients they've been sucking out of the ground and from the sun for however many months. And
Yep.
so, squash, pumpkin, sweet potatoes, all these things are jam packed. Even mushrooms are jam packed with really, really good nutrients. So I would encourage you to, on my blog, you can search it. You can just type superfood and it'll come up from last year. Read that before you make your menu. And then choose a couple things that, and make sure you tell your family, did you know how good this is for you? I picked this because it's really awesome. The other thing is if you have been working hard and you have a healthier version of you than you were at this time last year, and you have removed a lot of those things from your body, like the sugars, the starches, the whatever, the processed stuff, I'm going to warn you, your body is not going to appreciate
Don't do it.
putting all that back in one massive lump sum in one day. On tomorrow night or
You're going
Friday
to be hurt.
morning, you are going to wake up very unhappy. You will not feel good because you have
Yeah.
done such an amazing job of flushing your system, getting all that stuff out. So that's why I say have a bite, have a couple bites. It takes 3 bites to satisfy your taste buds. That's all you need. Have a few bites, get it out of your face, because I can promise you, I'm speaking from experience, that when
Oh,
you change your lifestyle and you have been doing all the things, exercising, eating right, staying clear of all these things, if you go eat all the saturated fats and all the starches, and then you have 4 or 5 different pieces of pie, and then you throw some ice cream on top of it when you haven't really had a lot of dairy lately, I'm telling you,
oh, you're going to hurt.
there will be no gratitude. Or if you want to really, really focus on the positive, you can be grateful for your body reminding you of how crappy you feel when you eat that food and not to ever do it again. But I'm
And
just kidding.
grateful for indoor plumbing, maybe.
Yeah, there you go. All for the lesson we learned, which is my body doesn't
Oh,
like that. So
yeah.
just go easy, have a bite of everything, enjoy the company, be grateful for the family. That's why we're there.
Yeah.
Spend more
Yeah.
time talking and less time chewing, and have your dinner and walk away.
I have to share you that like a friend of and I were talking about Thanksgiving and what we were going to eat. And the whole subject of carbs got brought up because, if you have stuffing and homemade rolls and
Mhm.
so we were like, yep, all right, Thanksgiving, all it is carbs with gravy, carbs with butter, and carbs with sugar. All right. So,
Sounds awesome.
I mean, it just sounds gross if you put it that way, but
Hmm.
it really is a conscious effort to
Yes.
not eat that way, not turn it into carbs with gravy, carbs with butter, and carbs with sugar. We can do better than that.
Well, and
I promise I will be better than that.
hopefully you've been exercising the 80-20 moderation system
Yeah.
and you haven't been gone like all off the deep end. I'm not a fan of the all or nothing diet. I'm not a
Yeah.
fan of the I'm never going to eat this again diet, because then a day like Thanksgiving rolls around and you're like, I haven't had a carb in 6 months. I want all the carbs, and
All
no, no,
the
no, no, no.
things.
And it makes you sick.
Yeah.
So if hopefully you've been eating a carb appropriate diet, hopefully you've been living a more sustainably healthy lifestyle. And so a day like Thanksgiving, when you have a few extra bites of this or that, it's not going to swing it any one direction. It's just not. So that's
Well,
why.
and I'm sure you probably advocate for meal trackers with all the macro counting that you do. It's just not that hard to pre-program. Like what you're going to eat on Thanksgiving, plug that into your tracker. Make sure that you're not
Plug it
off.
in ahead of time just to give yourself a
Yes.
reality check.
Yes. Oh man.
Because I'll be honest, I
Oh,
don't track on Thanksgiving. I don't, but I do make informed decisions.
yeah.
Right. I still follow my normal rules of eating my growing food, as my daughter's first grade teacher called it, or your protein,
Oh,
like your good food. We eat our growing food first,
yep.
and not our growing wider and squishier food, our growing healthier and stronger food.
Yeah.
So I try to make sure I follow those rules. But I absolutely have pie, even though my body doesn't love wheat, but I'll have a bite or two and call it good. I absolutely have whipped cream, probably more than I should. And, I absolutely have wine, and
Yeah.
maybe a lot of it, because Jesus drank wine, so I can too. Um,
Well, and I've been on a quest to try to change because I know I'm going to eat pie.
right.
I've been on a quest to try to change things, like instead of eating sweet potatoes with brown sugar and
Yeah,
marshmallow fluff on
right.
top, I'm changing that. So I'm eating my sweet potatoes with a little bit of butter and garlic on them so
Yeah,
that I know that sugar is going to be
I love
reserved
it.
for the pie, but then that superfood isn't diluted with a whole
Yes.
bunch of sugar. Um,
That's what
we're
I'm talking about, making
exactly. Yeah.
educated, informed, thoughtful, mindful decisions about what you're eating. You don't have to throw caution to the wind. I don't want you to. You will not feel good. You will not feel good mentally. You will not feel good physically. You'll beat yourself up, and then your stomach will beat you up. But you do, there's totally ways to enjoy it. I love that. I actually just was looking for a sweet potato recipe that doesn't have all that on it.
I've got a good one if you need it.
Yeah, I found
Yeah.
one. I'm gonna try it and I'll let you know how it
Yes.
goes. But
Yes.
but yeah, so you don't have to. And if you love the stuffing, maybe go easy on the rolls, because
Yeah.
stuffing is bread, right? So we don't need bread and bread. Choose one or
And
some of
mac and
both.
cheese.
But yeah,
And yeah.
no, we're not
See, there
mac and
you go.
cheese people at our house. But
Oh, see, my sister loves it. So that's why I thought of it. But
yeah. So either way, be grateful. Be grateful for your family, grateful for your health, grateful that you're above ground. I mean, this year that's something.
yep.
So
Yep.
grateful that you've got a roof, and grateful that you have the opportunity to make healthy choices, whether it's not keeping all the I might use it next year dishes. I totally am guilty of that. I have several of those. Um, and I'll be honest, I haven't
We never
ever.
pull them out. At least we don't pull out as much as what we save.
Yeah.
So it's time to pay that gratitude for. This is the perfect time of year to just sit in the gratitude that you already have. Pay the gratitude backwards, pay it forwards. Change your traditions if you need to, want to, and you find the value in it. use the perfect excuse as, for the Rona to change things up and not feel bad about it.
Yes.
And just, um, uh, I know I'm going to sound cheesy here, but we're also grateful for you as well. We're
Yes.
grateful for the people who are here, who are listening, who are cheering us on, and who find value in what we do as well. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing it with other people you think would find value in it as well.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll be around. We'll still keep on going, but yeah, we appreciate your patronage, your support, your listenership, all those good things.
Amen. Have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy it. See you later.